Hey friends, my name is Amanda. If you're new here, welcome. And if you aren't new here, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks with you on how you can make your home keep itself clean for you. Doesn't that sound like amazing? A home that keeps itself clean. It's every homemaker's dream, every person's dream, probably. Okay. Truth is, obviously, you're going to have to clean your house. Dust and dirt does build up. But this is going to be tips and tricks that are going to make the lifespan of your cleaning last longer. And when you actually go to clean these things, it's going to give you way less work. So you're going to have to clean less and your cleaning is going to last longer. So great combination, right? It's going to feel like your house is keeping itself clean with these tips. So I hope you guys enjoy it and let's hop in. Okay, my first tip is take that little bit of extra time to really do things fully. So, for example, when I make my bed every week after I do laundry, I do all the layers of the bedding, and I started tucking my bed in at the bottom because if I don't spend the extra minute it takes to tuck in, lift up the bed and tuck under the blankets and sheets and everything under the bed, then every single day my husband and I rip apart the sheets of the bedding. And so I had to take all the blankets off. You guys can probably see me doing this in old cleaning videos because I didn't used to do this trick. I would have to take all the bedding off and then relayer everything every single day. And that was adding probably 20 minutes on to my weekly cleaning routine by having to take them all off, put them all on, and make it look nice every day. Instead, this keeps them all tidy. All I have to do is pull everything up, but they're all layered. They're all evenly spread out. It's so much easier. It takes 1 minute in the morning to make my bed versus, I don't know, 5. So it's a huge time saver. And if I sound out of breath, I'm 6 months pregnant right now, I think, and I'm starting to get that shortness of breath. So that's why. But this is a really easy thing that takes just a little bit more time, the initial time you do it, but it's going to save you time all throughout the week. Okay, my next tip for you guys is that everything that's in your home is going to have to get cleaned eventually. So make sure that you are being intentional about all the things that you have in your home. Clear out clutter, don't let things build up. And if you're not using things or loving things, get rid of them. If you guys have seen parts of my house, which if you've seen other videos, you should, my house is pretty minimal. We don't go crazy for decor. There's not a ton of things, which means less things to dust, less things to upkeep, less things to take care of. So have as much as you want if it brings you joy and you don't mind taking care of those things. But if there are things that are piling up that bother you to look at, that aren't getting used, just realize every single thing in your home is gonna have maintenance and care that it needs to keep it clean and looking nice. So be intentional about the things in your home. The other tip that I want to mention really applies to people that are in the process of shopping for their home. So if you are in the process of buying things for your home, furniture, anything, just think about the materials, what you're buying, and how high maintenance they are. Because certain things are more high maintenance than other things. Like our white couch, for example. We bought this couch before we had kids. We did have animals still, so still the white couch was getting dirty. But before we had toddlers running around and before I was busier. So this white couch has to be cleaned every month at least. And in between that month, I flipped the cushions to make the lifespan longer of it looking nice. But a white couch is really, really high maintenance, especially whatever this material is. It just sucks in all the dirt, collects all the dog hair. So it needs to be vacuumed every single time I vacuum. And it's just a really high maintenance piece of furniture. So we are hoping to save up and switch to a leather couch that will wear well, the scratches will kind of add to its character. If the dogs or kids scratch it, but then it'll just be really easy to wipe up. We weren't thinking when we bought this couch, but just because I made the mistake doesn't mean that I can't warn you guys. So if you're in the process of buying furniture for your house, think about the upkeep and maintenance that furniture is going to take, and if you're willing to make that time investment. And think into the future. You know, if you're buying a big piece of furniture like a couch, you probably want it to last 5 or 10 years. So think about 5 to 10 years into your future. Is that piece of furniture going to make sense with the lifestyle you want all the way up until then? Because even if you have no kids right now, you might have kids in a couple years from now, and then are you going to be able or willing or wanting to spend as much time like upkeeping and taking care of that piece of furniture as you were willing to before kids, or whatever the situation is. And you know, maybe you have pets, and think about those things when you're buying things, because my husband and I definitely loathe this couch purchase. It's cute, but it's so much maintenance. It's really just not worth it. And no one wants to be stressed out about getting like stains on their couch, or it makes, you know, even though we don't really care about stains on our couch too much because they're easy to wash out, it does make guests a little more uncomfortable about eating or anything like that on your couch. Even if you're okay with it, your guests are going to be less comfortable because they're worried about ruining your things. So keep all of that in mind when you're shopping for your home. Okay, on the note of what I was just talking about being careful when you're shopping for your home, we actually just updated our table runner. I wish it was here. It's taking forever to ship. If you guys have heard of Gather, I got a table runner there. I've been eyeing it for 2 years, and we had a cloth table runner on our table. And every time my husband would eat at the end of the table, he would fold the table runner over and put his plate right here so he wouldn't get things on the table runner because he was afraid to stain it. And you guys, that is not a fun life to live. So these tips are like practical. Like, think about what's going to make you most comfortable living in your house, not having to worry about messes, because it's easy to clean up if a mess does occur. So the table runner that we got from Gather is like a pleather. It's leather bonded material. So it's like part real leather and part not real leather, I think. But it just wipes up really quick with a rag. So he won't have to worry about getting stains. He won't have to fold the table runner over every single time. He'll be able to keep it down, which is also nice because then our table just looks nice all the time, even when we're eating, versus him folding the table runner over. And it makes him feel more comfortable. So things like that, even smaller purchases, not as big as your couch, think about the practicality of them, how much it's going to require you to clean them, because if a stain did get on the table runner, I had to take the whole table runner off, put it in the laundry, dry it, but not over dry it in the dryer because you don't want it to shrink. All those things that you have to think about when the table runner that I just bought is wipeable. So it hopefully won't really ever have to go in the laundry machine. It will just get wiped off with the table as needed, and it's so much easier. Okay, as a mom with toddlers, if you guys can imagine, my toddler likes to explore and get into things, and he's learning his boundaries of things that he can and can't get into. But that being said, I got this tip from a parenting book, but just limiting the amount of no's, because at this age, they're not always like just trying to get into things to be spiteful or, you know, make you angry or disobey you, but they're literally created to explore. Like, that's how they learn right now. So something that you can do to help aid them, so you aren't always having to discipline them and they aren't always having to like be reprimanded for getting into things that you don't want them to get into, is limit your no's. And what I mean by that is think about what your toddler can reach and get into, and baby-proof some things, get rid of some things, you know, declutter or just put them away for the time being. You decide. And then also keep things. Like, my kid can get into the dog bowls. They're his height, but my dogs need to eat their dog food and water. And it would be a huge inconvenience for me to like place them up on the table and always down and like over and over. I did that when he was first learning. not to touch them. But now that he knows not to touch them, and even though sometimes he still touches them, but he like understands he shouldn't, they're back down on the floor. So he'll, you know, go in timeout or whatever if he's playing in the dog bowls when he shouldn't be, but he's gotten pretty good about not playing in them, just being consistent with him. But yeah, limiting your nose. So another example is, see that? You can't open this drawer right here, but you can open this one. So I'm okay with my son getting into this drawer. So it's his free play for all drawer, or whatever you want to call it, cabinet. And he can just rummage in here. There's nothing breakable. This is like his play area. But the rest of my kitchen isn't his play area. He has the pantry that I do let him get into, and one other drawer that he can get into that doesn't have breakables. But the rest of these cabinets are closed off to him. So that's limiting my stress. It's also limiting how much he's going to get reprimanded because he's not tempted by things I don't want him getting into. And it's limiting the mess around the house because only these things in the areas that I let him get into can possibly get on the floor, will need to get cleaned or things like that. So you can limit the amount of things that your kids, your toddlers that are still learning, can get into, and that will really help the mess build up. Okay, mama, maybe you're really good about this next tip, or maybe you need a little bit of conviction like I do. If you are seeing handprints everywhere on your walls with like food or sticky things, or on your cabinets or whatever, then just think about this tip and implement it as you would like, because I'm not perfect with this, but it does make a huge difference. Making sure that when your kids eat, they're contained, and then you're washing their hands and faces afterwards. You're gonna have more messes with your toddlers if you're letting them go around the house eating snacks in a bowl. And my son really likes to do this, and I'll let him do it. But if I know that his mess is gonna stress me out, he's gonna go in this high chair right here. So know what is gonna push your limits. And if having crumbs and sticky walls and things in a certain time is not gonna push your limits, then let your kid enjoy themselves and explore while they're eating. Totally fine, no judgment. I let my son do that all the time. But then sometimes I have busier days where there's a lot of things I wanna get done, and I don't have time to wipe up all the things that he's gonna get messy if I let him have a free-for-all during snack time. So I'm going to contain him, make sure that his hands have been cleaned and his face has been cleaned before I let him free roam. So that's another way that we can eliminate. It's often easier to not contain them because sometimes they aren't happy or like as happy being contained while they're eating. I know that my son really enjoys to be off and doing his own thing, and then coming back to his snacks as he pleases, or bringing them with him, or putting his snacks into different things. Like, that's his happy place. But sometimes for my own sanity, he needs to be contained while he's eating, so the mess is contained. Yeah, because you don't always want to go up and clean after them. Sometimes that's not a big deal at all, but sometimes it is. So something that can be like maybe a little more struggle in the moment might save you headaches down the road. And you can think about how that would implement into your life with whatever situation you have going on. Like, okay, is there something that's going to be a slight inconvenience in the moment, but is going to make cleaning easier in the long run and less stressful? Okay, my next tip is going to be have a place for everything. So my son's toys for downstairs are just in this little basket. And he has like two tinier baskets. One has musical instruments and one has like pom-pom balls and little wiry things. But anyway, so he has 3 baskets of toys. I can take one out for him at a time. It's easy for him to clean up. It's not a huge mess for me to look at because the mess is contained and everything has its place. This also goes for mail, junk drawers, or anything like that. Make sure if you're gonna keep anything in your home, it has a place. If it doesn't have a place, there's a good chance that you probably don't need that thing. And there's also a good chance that it's gonna make your home feel cluttered because it's not gonna get put away in its place because it doesn't have a place. So go around your home, try to systemize things. Systemization makes your home stay so much cleaner, so much longer because you have processes. So go around your home, see the problem areas, and see how you can fix them. If you have mail piling up, get something to sort your mail, or have a rule that every time you go to your mailbox, you sort your mail right afterwards, throw away all the junk mail, keep, file away the important things, whatever. But yeah, make sure everything in your home has a place, and it makes it easier for your kids to know where to put things back in. You can contain it. It's so much easier. Okay, you guys, my final tip for you is to have routines in place. If you can't tell, I'm a fan of structure, systemization, and organization because secret, it actually gives you more freedom. So when you're more structured, you have more time freedom and more freedom for your brain to think creatively and not be stressed out because you're not overwhelmed by everything that needs to get done, because you know how long things are going to take and when they need to be done. And so it gives you so much more freedom. So I have weekly cleaning schedules, and I have videos on that I'll share down below if you want more detailed instruction on cleaning routines and things like that. I'll put those in the down bar for you to watch. But yeah, it is so helpful to your cleaning lifespan and how easy and fast cleaning will be if things are getting cleaned often. So a bathroom is going to take you so much less time to clean if you clean it every week versus if you clean it once a month. And it's also going to be way harder to motivate yourself to clean it once a month because it's going to get gross every time, versus if you're cleaning it every week, it's not going to have as much buildup and it's not going to be as terrible. So it will be less hard to push yourself to actually do the cleaning. And once you're doing the cleaning, it's going to go by so much faster. So like I said, I have videos that I've made on my cleaning routine and schedule before that I'll put in the down bar for you guys if you want to see more info on that. But having a routine, knowing how often things need to be cleaned, how long they take, all that is going to help you keep your home, keeping itself clean longer, because you're not going to have to think about what cleaning you need to get done that day. You're going to know, okay, I need to do bathrooms, or okay, today I need to do floors, whatever it is. Anyways, I hope these tips helped encourage you guys and gave you some ideas on how you can help your home keep itself clean longer and easier and all the things. These are tips that have really helped me and things that I'm constantly trying to improve on and have been huge time savers for me. I have way less clutter build up than we did originally. Things aren't there's no catch-all areas or anything like that just builds up clutter and creates a mess really fast because of all these tips that I gave you guys in this video. And I'm still learning, like I said, the thing with the couch. I wouldn't have bought this couch this year. I'm learning as I go, and I think that's natural. As your life gets busier, it's easy to see oh, that probably wasn't the smartest buying decision, or that probably wasn't the smartest way of doing things, because you learn as you go and as there's a need to learn a lot of times. But this is what I've learned so far in my time of homemaking and becoming a mother. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps more people see it. So hopefully more people will get the same advice that you got and found helpful. And also let me know down below if you have any ideas or tips or tricks down below that I didn't mention to help your home keep itself clean. I would love to hear them because I'm always trying to create a better and more time efficient system. I mean, who isn't? So I'm always trying to improve in those things. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.